Dear human, dear soul, I welcome you to my podcast series Conversations with the Universe. Since a near-death experience, I have the gift to communicate with the subtle energies of the cosmos. This happens in a form of deep meditation in which I ask certain entities of the world beyond to communicate with me. As one of the first contacts with the other world, my old friend and teacher, friend of the Indians, showed himself to me, and it is now a great pleasure for me to introduce you to these conversations as a supplement to the books. Please excuse me if the terms and our articulations are not perfect. Our mother tongue is German, but we try to translate it to the best of our ability. Thank you for understanding. Dear friend of the Indians, you said that you wanted to call the next chapter Time of Teaching, but I'm not sure what exactly you mean by that. Shall we better call it Apprenticeship, or what exactly did you have in mind?
By this I mean largely the time during which a person discovers his life task. This is an indeterminate time period, for some people will never find out. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yes, I understand. I know many people who even at an advanced age do not know who they really are, let alone the life task of their soul.
That is true. And I would like to impart to you how important it is you find your connection to the spiritual worlds and find your life task and live accordingly. The life task of your soul and the question of survival are one and the same test. For if you only live your life under the aspect of survival, you have not found your soul's destiny. You are living an illusion. This illusion will keep you so busy that you are unable to gather enough strength to liberate yourself. Many people are trapped inside this vicious cycle created by lack of energy and false perception. But, dear humans, the apprenticeship of your soul is a time that you should spend with yourselves, as it were, so that you may discover and experience your true strength. This requires a lot of attention, and therefore I would like to point out that promises and contracts involving other people should wait until you have found your true destiny and life task. The question of survival provides the structure that is meant to assist you to complete this period of introspection more quickly. You are not meant to explore all areas of human existence from the point of view of survival, but to explore the spiritual plane. On the one hand, this process will take time, but on the other hand, it does not take as much time as you spend on the question of survival.
Well, dear friend of the Indians, that is easier said than done. Many have to start working as soon as they finish school in order to survive. There is a lot of pressure as far as this subject is concerned. And in addition to this, there are many human systems and structures, as well as thought and belief patterns that impose a structure on you that you cannot easily leave in order to find yourself. What do we say to those people who are so deeply involved in these structures?
The decision is theirs. Tell them that it is all their choice, and that no one is as powerless as they believe. All that is needed, as you have learned, is your willingness. All the people need is willingness, and then the energy begins to flow and to direct their choices toward a successful end to their time of teaching.
Why exactly have you chosen to call this time of teaching?
This term describes a time period in which people look deeply inside themselves in order to learn who they really are. This is an apprenticeship.
Okay, then it is an apprenticeship.
You may call it what you wish. I will call it a time of teaching. This time of teaching given to you by your soul is the best foundation for your purification and the acceleration of your energy. In all of the forms of your world, this introspection needs your willingness and the realization of the importance of this process.
So you point out personal responsibility again. I understand that. But many were born into very complicated circumstances. There are children who have to work, and there are many other things that provide distraction at an early age, simply because the needs of survival have to be met. Are you sure that all people have equal rights and equal opportunities to make a choice as far as this is concerned, no matter what circumstances they plead?
That is a very beautiful and clear question, dearest. Yes, I am sure. Because the only difference is your respective preparation.
What exactly do you mean by that?
These words here can serve to prepare those people who believe that they have been born into or have slipped into a situation of powerlessness and are forced to remain there. This information here can prepare them so that they may know that your soul needs this time of teaching, so that you can finally live the life that you have always wanted. Therefore, please, 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 and one more time, please, tell them that people are not powerless and that your strength will grow from your own center as soon as you begin to listen to the teaching of your soul.
What will happen to the souls who are so distracted by their lives that they never have time to listen to the teachings of the soul and to live accordingly? What will happen to them?
All that will happen is that they have missed the turn for a better form. Then it may be that they will live a life full of misery and deprivation. Ultimately, this is not a big problem, just a missed chance.
Well, because of a cosmic point of view, you will return time and time again until you get it right. Is there a kind of reward for those who accelerate and purify more quickly than others? Or does it really not matter if you need to return 10 times or 100 times or many thousands of times in order to develop the true potential of your soul?
It does matter, dearest, because the decisive factors in every incarnation are the risks that go with it. Those people who consciously experience a time of teaching of the soul, those people will understand the mistakes they made in this and other lives, and they will have the opportunity to rectify them then and there, more or less immediately. The people who do not understand this, and hence do not live accordingly, in other words, do not undergo an apprenticeship of the soul, those people will live each day and each moment of their lives in an unconscious manner, and they will make mistakes which they will then have to rectify another time. But we all know that no one is without fault, and therefore this is, as you would say, a logical consequence of living many lives in an unconscious state of being. The sheer amount of energy that will have to be balanced will continue to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and so on and so forth.
And then?
Then it will take longer and require much more balancing out in order to rectify all this.
Well, that means that a person who has lived in an unconscious state of mind many lifetimes will need equally many lives in order to create balance, right?
That is exactly the problem. Incarnation into an organism, such as your human body, entails many, many trials. The first trial of being human is the constriction you experience in virtually all your structures, such as your families, your schools, your work, and so many other things. This constriction then causes many, many wrong decisions that will all have to be balanced out again.
But this means that we want to expand people consciousness so that they may realize this danger now and therefore begin to listen to the teachings of the soul now.
That would be my intention, dearest. Yes. Behind the information that is given here awaits the vast expanse of your soul. This expansion will accelerate you and cause much change in your lives, but only change intending to create love, joy, energy, and growth.
Dear friend of the Indians, I know about people's fears. And most people are afraid when they hear the word change, because they are afraid that the structures they know will be taken away from them. Could you tell them something about this? Could you impart to them that the time of apprenticeship of the soul is so much more important than these fears?
You have already said in principle what I would have said. The teaching of the soul creates structures that are so much better than everything you have known up to this point that it is almost impossible for me to put this into words. The key is trust, devotion, willingness, and all the other things that we have talked about. Therefore, please do have trust and thank the teaching of the soul for always being available to you, so that all you have to do is stop and listen to them. The teaching of the soul requires your attention. There's really nothing else that you need. No other tools. That is all.
And what about the fears?
Fear is a sickness, dearest. If you feel fear, then you are contaminated in your body. And this creates contaminating processes such as, among others, fear. I would like to talk about this at another time, because fear itself is so complex that we will have to describe it in more detail.
Would you like to add anything else to the teaching of the soul?
No.
Then, what will be our next practical subject?
Abundance. To recognize the abundance of life.
Okay, I'm very much looking forward. Thank you.
Me too. Thank you. Love.